Hello and a very good morning. You're watching Today in Parliament. I'm Frank Rausen Pereira. Let's begin with the headlines. Taxation Laws Amendment Bill listed in the Lok Sabha today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to move the bill for consideration and passing. Bill to replace ordinance issued on the 20th of December. Both houses to take up private members' bills today. In the Rajya Sabha, member Harnath Singh Yadav to urge the government to formulate a stringent population control policy. Lok Sabha member Kuwar Pushpendra Singh to raise issue of water scarcity in Bundelkhand. Reports of Standing Committee on Labour to be presented in both houses today. In the Lok Sabha, Health Minister Harshvardhan to move a motion for election to the Governing Council of Indian Council of Medical Research. Well, here's a look now at the legislative business in the Lok Sabha. The Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2019 to amend the Income Tax Act of 1961 and to amend the Finance No. 2 Act of 2019 is listed for consideration and passing. The opposition members, however, will move a resolution opposing the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill of 2019. It is also the day of private members' business in both houses of Parliament, today being Friday. The second half session of the Rajya Sabha will see discussion on 4 private members' resolution. These resolutions will be moved by MPs Vaiko, Harnath Singh Yadav, Binoy Vishwam and Rakesh Sinha. Meanwhile, 4 private members' resolutions are listed in the Lok Sabha for further discussion. These include resolution on construction of canals through Ken Betwa River linking project to overcome the problem of water scarcity and stray cows in the Bundelkhand region, moved by MP Kuwar Pushpendra Singh Chandel. Suitable legislation to accord right of voting to the prisoners who are not yet been convicted to be moved by MP Sushil Kumar Singh. MP T.N. Pratapan will move the resolution on steps to review socio-economic policies in order to ensure all-round development of the country. And suitable comprehensive legislation for protection and safety of children while assessing the internet or other online resources will be moved by MP Jagdambika Pal. And joining me for a chat right now is our correspondent Kriti Mishra, live from Parliament. Well, Kriti, today being Friday, of course, the second half is dedicated to private member bills. What are some of the key bills that are likely to be taken up this afternoon?
Well, absolutely, Frank. Friday is the day for transaction of private members' business. Important resolutions are likely to be taken up in the upper house. So Harnath Singh Yadav will move a resolution for the government to come up with a stringent policy to control the burgeoning population of India. There's another important resolution that would be moved by member Rakesh Sinha, which is to provide compensation to the terminated employees. And another important resolution that would be moved by Binoy Vishwam, which is on the economic roadmap of the government. As far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, member Jagdambika Pal will move a resolution for regulating the content accessed by children on internet. But there's another important agenda in the lower house today, which is the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill. Remember, the government has set the target of increasing the share of manufacturing activity to 25% of GDP by the year 2025. A colossal opportunity also beckons India as far as manufacturing is concerned amid the trade war between US and China. The government is also eyeing the top 50 spot in the ease of doing business rankings by the World Bank. So the government has taken a plethora of steps, and one, of course, is a very important one, which is a reduction of corporate tax to 22% in case of without incentives. And as far as the new manufacturing units are concerned, the corporate tax would be reduced to 15%. Now, the government had promulgated ordinance to this regard, and this particular bill will replace the ordinance of very important day in the Lok Sabha today. Over to you, Frank.
Okay, all right, Kriti Mishra, thank you for joining us with those details there from Parliament. Well, here's a look now at some other legislative business in the upper house. The following ministers will lay papers on the table pertaining to their ministries. Hardeep Singh Puri for the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Mansukh Mandavia for the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Rao Sahib Dada Rao for the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Parshottam Rupala for the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Suresh Angadi for the Ministry of Railways. Som Prakash for the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And Kailash Chowdhury for the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Meanwhile, Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan will make a statement regarding government business for the next week. And also, members M. Shanmugam and Banda Prakash will present the Standing Committee reports on demands for grants for 2019-20 of the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Well, let's now look at other legislative business in the Lok Sabha. Smriti Irani is to lay papers for the Ministry of Textiles. Harshvardhan to lay papers on the table for the Ministry of Science and Technology. Shripad Yeso Nayak to lay papers for the Ministry of Ayush. Ashwini Kumar Chaube to lay papers for the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Secretary General Snehalata Srivastava will report a message from the Rajya Sabha regarding the Chits Fund Amendment Bill 2019. Speaker Om Birla is to mention recommendations contained in the first report of the Committee on Absence of Members from the Sittings of the House presented to the House on the 28th of November 2019. Bhartruhari Mehtab and Virendra Kumar are to present reports of standing committees on labour. Arjun Ram Meghwal is to make a statement regarding government business during the week beginning the 2nd of December. And Dr. Harshvardhan is to move a motion for election to the Governing Council of the Indian Council of Medical Research. That's a wrap on this bulletin, but stay tuned for Parliament proceedings to begin in a short while from now.